What's up, y'all? This is going to be a Bitcoin technical analysis video where we go over the charts, take a look at the price, talk about what we think is going to happen, maybe talk about some altcoins. And if there's anybody here that has any questions about Market Cipher, please feel free to ask, because I've been getting a lot of comments from people who are still having trouble grasping some of these concepts within Market Cipher. What's a trigger wave? What's an anchor wave? What do we look for? So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask and I will do my best to answer them. So I just want to quickly go over the Bitcoin chart right here. We are looking at the daily chart. We are still trading within this range right here. We've been bound within this range for about 3 days right now. And honestly, for the past 4 days, we had some significant price action within this range. So I would say moving forward, this box right here will probably act as a very significant support and resistance level, probably a very significant support level. Once we break out of this area of consolidation, this is going to be a very significant level in the future. And the levels I've marked out here are just some key daily levels. So right here, 51,881. The reason I marked this level as so significant is because we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days of price action right at this level. Right here, man, this level right here at $49,018. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days where we were touching this level. Another key area of right now of support. We cannot break through this level. We just tried. We just tested this support once again for the 4th day in the row. We are not able to break below this. We only have 3 hours left on this daily candle. We are not able to break below this. Of course, right here, if we do break below this, we are probably going to go back down to 44,000. If we can close below this daily level, we are going back down to 44,000. If we close below that, we are going back down to the 40,000 level, because, as you can see, that is a very key level. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days of price action right around this zone. It was resistance for a week, and then it became our super strong support. So those are some possibilities where the price could go, guys. If we pull up our EMA here, our 21 period EMA, let me see, got to change it to 21. And not only am I going to change it to 21, but I'm going to make it, what color should I make it? Let's make it gold. We are doing very well holding above this 21 EMA. And in general, I consider us in a bullish trend if we are above the 21 EMA. You know, even if you didn't have Market Cipher and we just took that thing off, you can pretty much trade, swing trade, just using the 21 EMA. I mean, if you wait for confirmation above this thing and then just ride it until we close below, look, you would have made 65% right there. Next time we confirm above it, we would technically still be in this trade right now. We would still be in this trade because we have not closed below it on the daily. And if you're new to trading, guys, you know, trading on the daily time chart with just the most simple support and resistance and moving averages, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. If you want to take a next step from just buying and hodling, you don't have to become a scalper. You just have to trade using something simple like a 21 period moving average. So I'm still super optimistic, and my theory still holds, which is I believe we are going to enter a period of consolidation right here, just like the period of consolidation that we entered right here. And honestly, I would not be surprised at all if we retested this 40,461 level. And the reason for that, guys, is because it's normal to have 30% corrections in a bull market. This is just Bitcoin's MO right here. And we had a 30% correction back here in January. It was actually a 34.89% correction. If we take a look at Market Cipher on the 4-hour, we can see some really interesting things starting to form here. Some very interesting things starting to form. Let's pull up Market Cipher here. Market Cipher B. B. It looks like we're having trouble finding a bottom here, guys. Like, I thought we found a bottom yesterday, right? With this right here, this big dot. But look, we printed a red dot here, and now we're printing another red dot here. You know, it just wouldn't surprise me if we break through this daily level right here and find our way back down to the 40,000 level. And honestly, I think that would be really a great opportunity for us, because people will be freaking out. People are going to be panic selling, and that's when we buy. This is when we buy. Man, honestly, I have to be honest with you guys. I know this is going against my strategy, but sometimes I go against my strategy when people are freaking out. I'll enter like scalp trades. To be totally honest, you know, don't try this at home, kids, but I always have buy orders in Bybit super low. And believe it or not, I had a buy order in Bybit, a limit buy, at this level right here, just chilling. And I woke up one morning and I found myself in a trade, and I was riding this candle wick up. And I stayed in this trade for a while. I think I closed it out when we retested this level here. So I made like a little scalp there, not using anything logical. I just always set low buy orders. I made like a 6%, nothing serious. I didn't put a lot of money into the trade, but I always just tell myself, you know, if we have these flash crashes, they usually come down to these significant levels. And if you just place buy orders here, you know, you have a pretty good chance of riding some of these wicks. Of course, it's dangerous. Don't try that at home. That's just me. Let's see who's in the chat. Yo, Massini, double up. What's going on, man? If you're a man. If you're a woman, what's going on, woman? It's going well for me. Actually, guys, I had a pretty crappy day. I'm going to be honest with you. I had a really bad day today. Richard Marshall Fox. Hello. Why, hello to you, sir. Clinton, what's going on, man? I see you've become a mutant X-Man today. Serious, am I using Market Cipher to scalp on the lower time frames? Serious, I use a combination of Market Cipher and I use some other indicators to scalp as well. So I have a strategy that is purely Market Cipher scalping, and I've been messing around with some other things as well. I will talk about those later on my channel. Lux Levinjante. No, I'm not going to open my wallet. I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, I'm going to talk about my scalping strategies later on in the channel. The thing is, guys, like my swing trading strategies, I'm so confident in their success because I've backtested them so much. And here's my thing. I don't want to show somebody a scalping strategy that's hard to follow or that isn't 100% successful just based on following simple directions. Because for me, when I scalp, it's hard for me to come up with an algorithm where I say, okay, if A, B, C, D, and E are true, then I will enter a trade. It's more of like you have to like go by feel, right? You have to go by feel. Like you just saw a huge dump, right? And you just hit a support. Okay, maybe enter a scalp. It's kind of hard to give people a step-by-step thing, and I don't want to screw people over here. Let's see. You like my 424 strategy, Race Warburton. It does work well, man. It does also work for predicting breakouts to the downside. Yes, it does. Everything that works in a bull market and a bull trend with my strategy for swing trading will work to the downside. However, we need to keep in mind that the market is bullish. I mean, the market is super bullish, right? Take a look at this. You could have had a lot of shorts, you know? You could have had a lot of shorts here. But you got to be careful, otherwise you're going to end up with your shorts down around your ankles, and everyone's going to laugh at you because you have a tiny wee-wee. I mean, no, that's not what why did I say that? They're going to laugh at you because you don't have any pants on. Your wee-wee's perfectly average. You're going to come down here, and you got to be careful. You got to know when to get out. You can't hold these things for too long. See, I like to hold my longs for long. I'm the kind of guy who likes to hold my longs, you know, for weeks sometimes. And it depends. I trade 3 different ways. I'm like a long-term swing trader. I will trade on the daily time frame. and then I will trade my 24/4 strategy on the 4-hour chart, and you can make some really great moves doing that, both on the upside and the downside. I just find that if I enter a short during a bull market, I feel like I can't sleep or focus on anything, because you never know when Elon Musk is just going to pull out his Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Noel Emmons, if your favorite time in the drop-down box will appear at the top. Yes, that's true. C. Todd, I'm so glad to hear that, man. I'm glad that you are hung like a giant chipmunk. That's good. I'm glad Peter D is not average. If you gave me 10K, could I turn it into 100K? Well, here's the thing, Lux. I would probably be super nervous if somebody gave me money and told me to do that. If I had my own money and I didn't care about it, I could probably do that. But when other people's money is on the line, I would be freaking myself out. I'd be breaking all my rules. I'd be scared to hold trades. I have to be honest with you. Yeah. Yes, Noel Emmons is right. It takes patience, and if there's pressure on me to do that, no way. But yeah, absolutely. I have my system down pat. Eventually, I could do it if I follow my system. C. Todd, do I like Market God or Market Cipher better? Jesse Bond. I like Market Cipher better. Best exchange to use margin on if you live in the U.S.? Jesse, you can use Bybit in the U.S. You need something called a VPN, a virtual private network. And what I use is I have a Mac, and I just use this simple little one here. It's from the Apple Store. I think it's like $7 a month. I can pretend like I'm from the UK. So whenever I turn this thing on, I just kind of change my accent a little bit, try and pretend like I'm from the UK. You know what I mean? So if anyone ever, if the government tries to tap into my microphone, and they hear me speak, they're like, oh, of course this guy's not from the United States. He's actually from the UK. So it's all right. Jason, have you thought about going live when you trade from Mega Skaters? Yes, I have thought about it quite often. Problem is, the past few days I've only been scalping. Haven't actually been entering any swing trades, and they come up randomly. They come up randomly, so I haven't had time to do the live stream, guys. But next time I find a really good swing trade entry, I am going to live stream that if I get the chance. I really will. It might be at like 2 a.m. I might be in bed. That's okay. Yeah. My wife, I hope she doesn't get mad at me that I'm like live streaming a video at 2 a.m. next to her. That would be weird. JP. JAIPEE. What time for scalping? You're right, Clinton. I'm a bit Aussie there. Whatever. I'm bad at that. I like to use the 6-minute and the 12-minute, and I also use higher time frames to assess the environment and to look for key levels of support and resistance. And to be honest with you guys, scalping, I've been just using Market Cipher. I've been using support and resistance levels, and honestly, I have also been using this thing right here, the Agora Algo. I find on lower time frames, like on the 5-minute time frame, if you set the settings right, only if you set the settings correctly. Let me see if the settings are correct right now. I don't think they are. But if you get the settings correct, this can give you some pretty good entries, especially if you, what was I saying? Find confluence, especially if you find confluence. So let me crank this thing up here to sensitivity to like 13 or so. And this thing will give you, you could have sold here and had a pretty good move. You could have bought here and had a pretty good move. Sold here, had a pretty good move. And honestly, guys, really, it's just, it's just like a visual, but really, you could just scalp using like the 21 EMA as well. I mean, really, you cross under the 21 EMA, take a nice trade down to this support, cross above the EMA, take a trade up to this resistance, cross below the EMA, take a trade down to this support. I mean, really, trading within this range that we've been doing, guys, it's been pretty easy to trade. And then of course, you know, you just use Market Cipher for some confluence. Like you got like on the 5-minute, you've got this anchor wave, and you've got like a trigger wave right here, and you know, mix them all together. Mix the 21 EMA with the support with Market Cipher. This is why it's so hard for me to come up with a way to communicate my scalping strategy, because there's so many like if this then that, and if not then not. Do you guys get what I'm saying here? I hope that makes sense. Am I using Cipher SR for supports? Kevin Doyle. I am not using Cipher SR for supports and resistance. I prefer, and I know Flopping Groper is really good with that, but I've had trouble kind of using that to set targets, maybe for stop losses, but I actually just prefer to do my own supports and resistances because, I don't know. Like, it would be so easy for me just to look at this right here and like put a resistance right here. We saw all this price action right here. It was resistance, resistance, support, support, and then, you know, it would be so easy to enter a buy right here because I see the money flow index crossing over on Market Cipher. I see us break above this support, come above the 21 EMA, and then set my target right here at this resistance that I drew. So it's like I'd rather just do it myself. Moving average working as resistance right now. Are you talking about right now on the 5-minute time frame? Yeah. Yep, it's working as resistance right now. And we're at a support. So, you know, watch what happens here. If we break above this 21 moving average on the 5-minute time frame, and, you know, we get some good confluence right here on Market Cipher, I would, you know, I might enter, if I was scalping right now, I would enter a scalp right here. The thing is, guys, I usually don't scalp. Most of my scalping is back testing because I don't have the time during the day usually to sit and just wait for stuff to happen. It's very rare. I made one scalp this morning. What did I do this morning? I actually scalped this right here when the I got this anchor wave on the 5-minute. Of course, I was looking at the higher time frames. I got this trigger wave right here. We got this huge buy signal on the algorithm with a huge, you know, huge blue candlestick coming above the 21 EMA. I just got in here. I just kept moving my stop loss under the 21 EMA, and I think I got out maybe in this candle here after we clearly rejected that resistance. Yeah, Reed Smith. It's actually a paid indicator. It's a paid indicator. I don't know if it's worth it. It's $87 a month, Reed Smith. And so for most people, that's probably not worth it. I have it because I figured I'd try it out to see if it could help me. Because if it can, then it would be totally worth the money. You know, I've been messing around with it. There's a lot of settings to play around. I feel like if I keep tweaking it, I could get it to work really well. But as you can see right now, you know, it's pretty much, you know, would I really need this if I just had the 21 EMA? Maybe, maybe not. It got me in a little early right here. Of course, it had me in some drawdown, which is always scary when you're scalping, right? But I mean, I'm a big fan of just Market Cipher, support and resistance, and moving averages. Those three things I think are pretty solid. Lux about XRP. The last time I traded XRP was when everyone was talking about the XRP. They were going to game stonk it, right? And I longed it. I longed it that night, and then I shorted it that morning when it started to drop, and that's the last time I touched XRP. Are you using Vision Algo also? No. Double up. I stopped using Vision Algo. I paid $100, I think, for 1 month of it, and I stopped using it. It sucks. I'm going to be honest with you. It is not good. It's not good at all. I prefer this Agora Algo much better than the Vision Algo. This gives you much more. This gives you better signals, and there's a lot more options in here too. The Agora Algo actually has this thing in here called the Dynamic Reactor, which acts as like a really nice baseline where, you know, especially on the higher time frames, where you could like long when it turns green and short when it turns red. What else does it have in here? It has built-in support and resistance. and built-in trend lines too, which is pretty nice. So like right now, I just clicked the button and it's showing me this green trend line right here, which obviously we broke down, and now it's showing me this red trend line, which was resistance and got flipped into support. So I like these little features here and there. It gives you this dashboard thing as well, which kind of tells you, where is that? Right here. It tells you the candle volume, which is really nice, the current volatility, which is really nice, the chance of a pullback, which is really nice. But yeah, is it worth the $87 a month? I don't know. I have yet to see. I really have yet to see. It also has this predictive take profit and stop loss feature, which honestly, guys, sucks. Totally sucks. I mean, come on. Am I really going to enter a short position right here and set my stop loss way up here? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. This is talking for this sell signal. Sorry, guys. I'm half retarded, right? So it's telling you to enter right here, set your entry here, your stop loss up here. Actually, look at that. That was that is actually super accurate, guys. Maybe this thing is pretty good at setting take profits. I've never actually used this feature on the 5-minute chart, but let's actually backtest this right now and just kind of see what it would do. So it would have told me to enter right here, set my stop loss up here. Take profit 1 was already hit. Let's see if we hit take profit 2 or 3. No, we didn't. We only hit take profit 1. That's fine. Told me to enter right here, set my stop loss there. Let's see, would we hit any of our take profits? We'd be in this trade for a long time. No, we would have gotten stopped out. I guess it's accurate sometimes, huh? But yeah, I'm messing around with it. How do I read charts? Does it really help? Yes, Lux. Yeah, Reed Smith. I've already went through the 7-day trial. I figured I'd pay for it for at least a month to just see how I like it, and if I like it, like if it can help, $87, totally worth it, right? Sorry guys, I'm behind on the chat here. Let me see. So Nemers says, "Are you still doing the 24-minute 4-hour method?" Of course I am. Yes, for my swing trades, yes. I haven't seen a good entry yet, where all 5 of my indications line up. Like, I need a trigger wave on the 4-hour. I need the wolf pack on the 4-hour. I need the trigger wave on the 24-minute, the wolf pack on the 24-minute, and then I need to see that money flow index curving to the green. Loads on how stop losses on Binance and Bybit. Watch them again. Yeah, stop losses are hard because whales will purposely take people's stop losses out, especially if everybody's looking at the same pattern. How do I read charts? Let me go over this real quick because that's important, guys. When I read charts, I always start on the daily time frame, sometimes even on the weekly time frame. When you're reading a chart and you're setting your levels, you want to start big and zoom in. You want to start on the weekly time frame, and you want to lay out levels of support and resistance, key levels. And the way you find these key levels is, where did the price touch a lot? So obviously we would mark our all-time high right here, and then look at this. For 3 weeks in a row, price came right up to this level, and then it came back down to this level. So it was resistance, then it was support and support. So for 3 weeks in a row, we had this very significant level. Then right here, we had a very significant weekly level, because for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row, price was accumulating around these areas. These are areas of a lot of liquidity, where a lot of trading is happening in these levels, right? And then maybe you could say that this was another key level on the weekly, right here, where we had these weekly candle opens and closes right around the 32,234 level. Okay, and maybe you would make your weekly lines blue, and then you would move down to the daily. And when you move down to the daily, you're going to do the same thing for the daily levels. And a lot of times the daily and the weekly levels are going to be very similar. So I would say a daily level that was very significant was right here. It was pretty close to that weekly level. So maybe because it's a daily level, we'll change the color of it. Oops, I have my wrong tool here. it's daily, so we'll make it green, right? And you know, we had another daily level right here, maybe you could say. And when they're this close together, you know, I don't even put more than one line across. I just consider these things to be zones. I don't look for support and resistance lines. I look for support and resistance zones. So usually if I'm doing my TA, I will draw a box around different zones because, you know, in general, the price came to this area. If I see price moving into this area, I become very interested in this area. What's going to happen? Are we going to have a bounce? Are we going to have a rejection? What does Market Cipher say? And then, of course, you know, I can come all the way down to like the 15-minute chart or the 24-minute chart, let's say. And on the 24-minute chart, look, we're just trading in this zone. This whole, you know, on the daily and weekly, this was one line of support. Well, today we're just trading in this zone, which is really nice because now we can say, okay, price is stuck in this zone. I can kind of draw a consolidation box around this zone if I wanted to. And we're just trading within this range. I can draw, you know, support and resistance lines and just say, okay, if we cross over this 21 EMA and we've broken over this line of support, you know, I'll take a little scalp up to this line of resistance. If we bounce off this line of resistance and cross below the 21 EMA, you know, I'll take a short position possibly and write it down to this right here. So that's kind of how I do charts, just basic support and resistance, and then of course, you know, I'm really big on Fibonacci retracements as well, because I feel like those kind of add a lot of confluence. So basically, Fibonacci retracement tool is right here under the it's under the pitchforks. Fibonacci retracement right here. What you would do is you would take it from the top of a move to the bottom of a move, and this will give you some very key levels of support and resistance. Very key levels of support and resistance. You can do this on huge time frames, and it's super crazy accurate. But basically, things tend to happen on all these levels. Like, look, we're basically bouncing in between the 0.382 and the 0.236 right now. And then we came up and hit the 0.5, and then we came back down to the 0.236. The most significant level is right here, the 0.618. This is called the golden ratio. This is where a lot of cool things happen. There's a lot of free information about that on YouTube. And honestly, guys, I'm going to be making a trading course that's designed for people who are completely new, where I'm literally going to go over everything that I've learned in the past 5 years of being into crypto, from what is a candlestick to moving averages, everything. I'm going to go over everything, and I'm going to go over like a Market Cipher tutorial where I show you, exactly how to use Market Cipher, how to understand it. I'm going to show you how I scalp, how you can scalp, how I swing trade. Because a lot of trading courses that I've taken, guys, they all say the same thing in the beginning, which is, we don't want to show you how we trade. We want you to come up with your own style. But honestly, guys, I wish if I could go back in time, someone literally just told me how to trade, how they traded. Because it's very hard to come up with your own style if you've never traded. If you already know something that works, then you can take that and build upon that. That's how everything else in life works. Like, I'm a guitar player. I didn't just have a guitar and try and come up with my own style without listening to other people play, without learning other people's songs before you could start writing your own stuff, How do I use divergences on Market Cipher? Author Diaz wants to know. Let's take a look. Falcon Coin has Market Cipher free version on TradingView, and I don't know if it's legit or not. Nemers, no, it's not legit. If we go to Market Cipher, Market Cipher B free version with buy and sell by Falcon Coin. Look at this. The red dots that show up after the red dots on regular Market Cipher. The green dots, sometimes they show up in the same place. Other times, like here, they show up after the fact. And something else that's really bad about this indicator is the fact that it does not have the money flow, which is one of the most important things that I use with Market Cipher. So it's still a good indicator. but I wouldn't consider it on the same level as Market Cipher. How do I use divergences? Let me show you. So let's pull up the 4-hour time chart right here. And I'm defining a divergence as the price is going up and the momentum on Market Cipher is going down. So if you see a divergence like this, where price is going up like this, and Market Cipher is ticking down like this, right? This is a bearish divergence. The price is going up, but money is leaving the asset, momentum is coming down. This is how we know that we're about to have a correction right here. And there's so much confluence as well. If we're just using, the 21 EMA and Market Cipher B, we would have seen it early on Market Cipher, but as soon as this candle closed below the 21 EMA, like we knew, like we're coming down. That's how I use divergences, but I think people get confused between divergences and just higher highs. Like right here, this is not a divergence. This is just momentum moving upward. It's only a divergence when the price action is the opposite of Market Cipher. But if the price action is the same as Market Cipher, that's still a really good thing. That's still a really good thing. It's showing that money and momentum is moving into the asset and we're going to push upward. Because Market Cipher is a tool where you can like look at it and draw on it like this and basically see, what's happening. Look, what's happening. It is it's like like a dolphin diving into the water and then coming back up out of the water. We can see that happen. We can see the money coming back into the asset. We can see the momentum building up. That's why we get these anchor waves, and then every time one of these trigger waves forms tighter and tighter, closer to the zero line, right on the zero line, boom, this is momentum, boom, this is momentum, boom, we're shooting up in the direction. And then we know we're coming to the end when these trigger waves start to get really high above the zero line, and we start to see a divergence. So this is like a complete little bull run cycle. Like in the middle of like a bull run in general, in a bull market, I would consider this right here, this whole area from, I would say, this low right here on January 21st, from like right here all the way up until here. This is like one complete cycle of price movement where when you saw this anchor wave and you start to see these tight trigger waves, you knew, all right, it's time to like enter a serious long position right here. Money flows back into the blue, and then you just keep entering longs and longs and longs and making all this money all the way up. As soon as you see the divergence, it's like, all right, time to close the longs, wait for the consolidation to be over, and then we'll get back in when things like bottom out again and we start to see a big anchor wave with that red money flow index. Right, Reed Smith, you're right. Like, people need a foundation. Like, that's the thing. And it's like that with anything. Like, you go to school to do anything, and you're going to learn what other people have already done. Like, if you're going to become a brain surgeon, they don't just give you a knife and say, all right, come up with your own style. We'll tell you what the knife does. We'll tell you how to use it. We'll tell you what the brain does. So, Kieran Sant, do I think Bitcoin will come back? Oh, absolutely. Yep, it's coming back. Market God. I've never owned it, but I have a friend who does, and I've used it. It's not as accurate as it looks because a lot of these buy and sell indicators, they look super accurate because of where they print the labels. Like for example, let's pull up this one here. And if we give it, well, this is a large time frame, but if we come down to like the 15-minute time frame, even this one is not totally accurate because it looks like they're printing the labels at the highs and the lows, but if we zoom in, we can see like it's just because the label is above the price action in that general area. But like, look at this sell signal. It would have told you to sell at the bottom, and this buy signal right here, I mean, it would have still been a pretty good entry. But is it the best entry? No, you could have just used the 21 EMA. And I'm sure Market God probably has different what's the word I'm looking for? Ways to tune it and stuff. But I think Market Cipher is just on a is really it's the best indicator I've ever used, because here's why. If you're just relying on something to tell you when to buy and when to sell, you're not actually learning anything, how to read anything. Market Cipher is it's like another language, right? It's like another language where you're learning how to read something new. It's like learning how to read music, or learning how to read Hebrew or Greek or like Chinese or Japanese. It's a new language. You're learning how to interpret information in a different way, and it's not just telling you when to buy and when to sell. What EMA does CryptoFace use? Does he use the 20? You know what? I'm not sure. I know he uses one of them on Market Cipher A, which I actually, believe it or not, I enjoy on Market Cipher A using ribbon number 3, which I think is pretty close to a 21 EMA if I'm going to use Market Cipher A. I've actually been experimenting with some new ways to use Market Cipher A, guys, where like some of my longs, somebody in the comments, if you're out there, shout out to you, and I forget who you are, I'm so sorry, started to talk about using these red diamonds as take profit areas. Like if you entered a trade, let's say you entered a trade because you got all this confluence, right? You got on the 15-minute chart, you got an anchor wave down here with a big dot, you got a trigger wave up here where the money flow is curving over, you got right on this trigger, you got to cross over the 21 EMA, you're like, all right, I'm entering long, and you come up, and then we print this red diamond, and you're like, all right, take profit 1. And if you want to stay in the trade, you stay in the trade a little bit, and then all right, take profit 2 and get out, right? So I've been kind of using Market Cipher A in that way lately, and it's been helping me out a lot. Jeremy, should I ignore divergences? Oh, first, Christopher Welch, you bought ETH at 15.90. No, that was a great move, man. If you're in this for the long term, yeah, that's a great move, man. You bought a dip. Yeah. Jeremy, should I ignore divergences if they're heading down, but the money flow is big in the green? Yes, Jeremy. Here's the thing, Jeremy. It depends on what time frame you're using, too. If you're on a smaller time frame and you see a bearish divergence, but the longer time frames are thick in the green, ignore that bearish divergence, because it will just result in probably sideways trading for a little bit. That's what will probably happen. The divergences, the bearish divergences you want to look for, I would say, are on the 4-hour and up. I mean, if we go to the 2-day, for example, we had some pretty crazy stuff happening on the 2-day for a while, right? That was forming like right here. I remember people talking about it in the Discord, right? This was forming for a long time, and then we came down, and then same deal. You know, back in August we had that bearish diversion, and we had that little thing that happened back then as well. Oh man, I can't believe Bitcoin was so low back then. Man, remember when this happened in August, guys? Remember this? Do you remember how like devastating this was to everybody? At least it was to me at the time. I was like, man, Bitcoin is crashing. It's crazy. I got freaked out about that, man. What percent was this? I guess it was close to 20%. It's so funny how insignificant these things are nowadays, you know. But yeah, let's see. Brandon, thank you so much, man, for the super chat. Seriously, thank you. I just can't thank you enough. I don't deserve that, man. I would have tried to answer your question without that $5. I don't even know how to take this money out of Google AdSense. I have to be honest with you guys. I have like $130 in here. I have no idea how to take it out. Do I offer one-on-one training? I do. I do offer one-on-one training. I can do a Zoom call. We can set something up. Email me. Email me here. I'll send you my email. Leo. Brother Jason, I appreciate all of your work. Have you gone over seeing the green dot and other indicators letting us know when to jump to the big trade coming? I'm still having trouble with my timing. Leo, I have not gone over that in this video, in this live stream, but I think there's a video uploading on my channel right now that does kind of go over that. It's about having a plan. It's yeah, it's uploading right now. It's called Market Cipher Strategy: The Importance of Having a Plan. Where basically I just go over how important it is to have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, you know, people FOMO into these trades and they get wrecked. And you know, if you just have a plan, you know what you're going to do. So basically, Leo, let me quickly go over this. Let me quickly go over this right now, right? My plan when I'm looking to get into those big trades is this. I am waiting for us to bottom out before I'm looking to enter like a big long where I'm in it for like weeks. I'm waiting for us to bottom out where hopefully we can print a big old anchor wave right here. A big old anchor wave with a big dot right here. And then once we do this, this is like the foundation for our us moving upward. And then once that happens, here's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for trigger waves to start forming, the money flow index to start curving up into the green, and then once we hit a tight trigger wave right here, a tight, close to, you know, it's far away from the negative 60, it's like halfway between the 0 line and the negative 60, this is where I'm going to start looking for my long-term entry, right here. And then, you know, you have two choices. You can either like ride the waves up and then sell when the momentum starts to come down, or you can just ride these waves up, man, and just stay in a trade and, you know, put on a moving average, maybe like a 55 moving average. Let's see here. You know, you put on a 55 moving average. Sorry about that, y'all. Put on a 55 moving average and just use that as your stop loss, and you're kind of good to go. You're kind of good to go there. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It's simple. It's not complicated. Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much, Alex. Jonathan Underwood. Hey, brother. Hey. Praise the Lord. Today's Purim, by the way. I'm going to services later. I don't know if you celebrate that or not, but it's the day that Queen Esther saved, well, the Lord saved all the Jews from annihilation back in the days of Haman. Jeremy, yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, Mega Skaters, I do use Wolfpack. What do I think of Crypto Faces spider lines? Do I use them? I have not yet. Is my plan... I have not yet, but they intrigue me. My plan, what plan are you talking about there? Mega Skaters, what plan are you talking about that? There. The Wolf, yeah, you know, it could take place tonight. I'm not really sure. Clinton, yeah, I want to do that. Guys, there's so much I want to do with this channel right now. It's going very slow, like, you know. And honestly, these live streams I've been doing, they are I've been doing them just so I can like keep up with content and answer people's questions and stuff. But they're kind of like a substitute for what I really should be doing. I just want to keep I want to keep the content coming, but I'm working on it. It's slow going. Noel, can you please show you laying out a triangle pattern? Sorry if you answered. I had to take a call. Yeah, let me show you real quick a triangle pattern, okay? So basically, a triangle pattern is very simple. You are just going to look for price action that starts to form a pattern that looks like a triangle. Let's see here. They come up all the time, but of course, now that we're in a live stream, I can't find them. Here we go. Here we go. This is kind of one. That's not really a good one. Man, yeah, I can't really find one now. Let me see. Let me go back. I know where one was. Right in the beginning of January, there was one. So let me see. Man, can you believe Bitcoin was only $40,000 at one time, guys? Whew. Man, must have been a huge bubble. Those poor people who bought in at 40,000, didn't they know it was going to crash? This is kind of a triangle, Noel, right here, where you can just draw trend lines and you can see basically what you're looking at here. The chart is just a visual representation of the psychology of the market. You have the buyers and the sellers. The buyers are trying to push the price up. The sellers are trying to push the price down. The buyers are trying to push it up. The sellers push it down. They push it up, down, up, down. Eventually, it gets to a point where it just can't take it anymore, and somebody has to win out. Somebody has to win. Either the buyers or the sellers need to win, and we're going to break out of this period of consolidation right here and start a new trend. It just has to happen. We can't consolidate forever. And when that happens, we're either going to break up or we're going to break down. And Market Cipher is so great because it'll tell you for sure if we're going to break down. Because look, Market Cipher, you can clearly see the momentum coming down. You can see the money flow index crossing over into the red. Right at the breakout, the money flow has crossed from the green into the red, right at the breakout candle. So you don't have to worry that it's a fake out because you have a bearish divergence, right? You have the prices moving up and the Market Cipher is moving down. You have the money flow crossing from the green into the red. And as soon as this candle confirms, you enter your short position, and the way you would set your take profit is really you would go from the high of the triangle to the low of the triangle, and then you just drag this trend line down like this, and that would be your first take profit right here. And look at this. Look at how much that level was respected, that first take profit level. We had this huge wick that came right down to that level. And then this level was respected. It was support, resistance, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, 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 resistance. Look at that. Isn't it cool how these things work out, guys? That's pretty cool. Just basic TA. Nothing too complicated right there. Guys, I'm going to have to wind this stream down. It's 5 o'clock. I've got some stuff to do. Thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it, guys. I love all of you guys. I really appreciate you. This is my email. If you guys have a question, shoot me an email. I'll try to get back to you. I want to help as many people as possible. Tuna melt. That sounds great. I could go for a tuna melt right now. But Alex, you can rewatch the stream after it's up, and I'll be back. I'll be back, Alex. I love you, Alex. You're the man. I will answer your questions, bro. Yes, JP, I am going to be making a Discord. I've already got it up. I just need to set it up. Thanks, Double Up. All right. Thank you, guys. God bless.